Okay, here's part two, different. I was thinking about my communication with my inner being this morning, and the last several days, I've just noticed that as I'm thinking about or having questions and kind of putting them out into the ethers, posing them to my inner being, that I'll immediately see visually in my head yes or no, or experience an answer almost as a stream of words or thoughts. And so I thought, oh, maybe that's how my inner being communicates with me. And so I asked that question. I said, inner being, is this how you communicate with me? And immediately the word no visually popped into my head, followed shortly after by yes. And I thought, it kind of unnerved me and surprised me. But then there was these stream of thoughts as well, just like, you can't corner source. You can't force source into a box, which our inner being is communicating with source. So I can't corner my inner being. It's not always going to be the same thing. Otherwise, it's just another form of a savior, right? We look outward for someone to tell us what to do. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to be sovereign beings. We're here to direct our play of this reality. We are here to experience, expand, feel, and anyway, not be. There's calls coming in. 800 numbers. I don't take calls from 800 numbers. You can leave a message. Anyway, that was a really good lesson for me. And the thoughts came to me. It's all in how you feel. And so as I was thinking, well, what if I think thoughts that are even the whole putting it into words is not very easy, right? What if I think of something that is totally unrealistic, but makes me feel good, or I feel good when I'm thinking it? You have to ask yourself, if I were totally in alignment with it, like, why would I even think something that, if something allows me to feel good, there's probably some alignment with that thought somewhere within me. I may think that it is not realistic, and in thinking that, am I not creating resistance and not allowing flow? You know, if I'm thinking maybe about surfing in Hawaii, yeah, maybe that's not going to happen right away. I don't live in Hawaii. I don't know how to surf. So perhaps realizing that is not something that's immediate. But pushing against that is certainly not helpful either, because why would it occur to me to think of that if I am in alignment, if I truly am in alignment, unless it were inspired? Oh, hi, hummingbird. I love that. So I guess the conclusion I came to is that anything that occurs to me, if I'm in alignment at all and it feels good, then that is in some way connected with Source and my higher being. And to the extent that I just appreciate it and allow it in, it will eventually become part of my reality at some point, at some time, in some fashion, way, shape, or form. So that's what I think I've learned there. So allowing thoughts to come in to my mind and my heart, and just allowing flow, not judging them. There we go, not judging them as, faulty or flawed or unrealistic or, whatever, is kind of like the flip side, the opposite end of the spectrum of thinking that source energy, my inner being, will always communicate to me in a very specific way, which creates a dependency, or can easily create a dependency. Certainly within my being or myself, it's indicative of a dependency. But that's me. I grew up in a very Christian environment. Well, Mormon Christian environment. It's different than the regular Christians, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. It's a whole other story. So I'm constantly, or at least that was my tendency. That's a funny story with Bashar. Someone was sitting in the audience and had the mic and said, well, I have this tendency. And he stopped her and said, you have a what? I said, you have a what? A tendency. He said, basically the gist was tendencies, habits, you can call them whatever you want. But once you denote those as, by saying that, you're saying, I don't have control. I don't know that I'm doing this. But he said, the very fact that you are verbalizing it, realizing it, means that it's not a tendency. It's not a habit anymore. It has risen to the level of consciousness, and therefore, it is a choice. So, I can really appreciate that. So these choices that I make, I'm choosing whether to surrender my sovereignty or not by looking for a savior, so to speak, someone to come in and fix what I myself am apparently choosing not to fix because of fear. So there we go. So I learned that as I feel like there's flow from my inner being, appreciate it, allow the thoughts in, don't be judging of them, be grateful for them. And if you find that there isn't immediate relevance for them, just allow them to flow into whatever place they might find. You probably won't even realize it. And those that seem more relevant and applicable, as you evaluate, be appreciative of those and make use of them. And just assume and appreciate that there is a flow of communication between you and your higher being. Because how could there not be? You are one and the same. You're connected constantly with each other. Unless you want to be disconnected, you can choose that. But I don't. I choose to be connected, and so I trust and assume that thoughts that come to me that feel good are a flow between, or a collaboration between myself and my higher being. I don't see how it could be anything other than that. So there we go. There's my esoteric wisdom. Esoteric is not a word I usually use, and so I had to investigate what it actually meant. I thought, esoteric, why didn't that pop into my head? But it's communication that is not intended for general awareness or understanding or dissemination, I suppose. And to the extent that what I'm putting down here is, and recording, is wisdom, it certainly is to me. It's expanding my awareness and so on. So it is esoteric. It's not meant for everyone. If you happen upon this, and so far I have made no effort at all to tag or distribute these videos in any way other than just recording them and putting a title and a description. So if anybody finds these, it truly is meant to be, because I certainly haven't directed these out. And it is esoteric, so if it certainly resonates with me, if it resonates with you, great. Right, bye.